Well, good morning, traders. Clearly a more bearish tape playing through. We'll talk about the prices in a moment. A couple of things at play. I think firstly, market feeding off Donald Trump's comments yesterday that we're going to see 100 to 240,000 deaths, a bad 2 to 3 weeks ahead of us. I think you've also seen a couple of companies, big companies yesterday, Standard Chartered, HSBC, really setting it off and really reinforcing the idea that we're going to see corporate-backed buybacks being shelved and that dividends are going to be cut pretty aggressively across the world. And that for me, for the S&P at 158 bucks consensus EPS, it's far too high at the moment. And as we go into reporting season on the 14th of April, those numbers are likely to come down. But let's have a look at the prices today. Well, let's have a look at the US close and how this sets us up for Asia. The thing that stands out straight away, look at the Russell, down 7%. You've got the Dow down 4.4%, as is the S&P. Now, we were pricing in an element of that fall that was cushioned to an extent in Asia yesterday. If you have a look at this chart here, which is the S&P futures, we were down as we went home. The Japanese market was hit pretty hard yesterday on that Standard Chartered and HSBC news. But you can see here, this is the ASX close, this is the Nikkei close. Look at how the difference between the S&P futures is relative to those close. So the S&P futures, since the ASX closed, down about another 2.9%. The Nikkei down another 1.5%. So we were cushioning some of that fall, but not completely. Have a look at what we're seeing in SPY futures here in Australia. You can see this is where we closed the cash session to where they closed the SICOM, down about 3.5%. So you can see that after a strong performance in the ASX yesterday, up 3.6%, we're going to give most of that gain back on open there. The futures are pricing in a pretty bad night there. German markets and European markets down pretty hard. I think this setup of DAX futures really needs to be paying attention. We had the melt up, we traded sideways. We're just testing that consolidation low there as well. So a break of that, and I think European equity markets could come under pressure. Have a look at vols today. You've got the VIX 57. It's up a 3.5 vols, so that's 3.6% daily move up and down. We've got a bit of a bid coming through in treasury markets. Real yields are a little bit lower, hence we're probably seeing a bit of buying in gold. We are up 0.7, and oil markets actually looking a little bit better today, up 2.6%. So all in all, it's going to be a tough day in the office here. We're expecting a bit of weakness on the open.